All right, hi guys. We're going to be looking at how you start this weaving project. So hopefully yesterday you got your background painted, okay? And we didn't paint over the circle. Hopefully we should still have the circle on the other side. If you don't, you can use a compass. You can borrow one from me. And we can add a new circle on there in the center, okay? So the first thing we're going to do before we start with the weaving part is we need to put some dots on there to show where we're going to put the needle through. So first thing, we're going to put the ruler across the middle of the circle. I'm going to put a dot on either side, like that, here and here. Then I'm going to put my ruler up and down, straight up and down through the circle. And on the top of the circle, I'm going to put a dot, and the bottom of the circle, another dot, like that. Okay, easy enough so far. So then we're going to put our ruler diagonally from corner to corner of your cardboard square. I'm going to add a dot in both parts where the ruler goes through the circle. And we're going to do the same thing, but the other way, corner to corner. Get a dot and a dot, like that. Okay? So that is the basic beginning part. But now what we want to do is we have, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 dots. We want to add more dots. We want to add a dot in between each of those. So see, I've got 2 here. I'm going to add one in the middle and try to keep them evenly in the middle as best you can. Another one right here. Another one right here. Right here. Like that. And just keep going around, trying to keep them as even as you can. Like that. Okay, so now we should have, what, about 16 dots. Okay, and those are going to be where we're going to weave from. Okay, now the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take a tack, or I've got a nail here, and I'm going to carefully take my cardboard, and everywhere there's a dot, we're going to just punch a little hole through it. Okay, so I'm going to do 1, 2, and we're just going to go around like that. We're going to punch holes through each one of those, okay? Now, if I could figure out how to do a time lapse, that would make this faster, but I don't, so we'll just watch me do all of these. Couple more. And last one. There we go. All right, so now we've got a hole punched in all 16 of those. Now, the part that can be a little tricky, we need to thread our needle. So take one of the needle threaders, which is just this folded piece of cardstock. You're going to take some of the yarn, or actually it's embroidery thread. Okay, you're going to take a good long piece of that. I'm going to snip it a little bit further down. Okay, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to put that, this will make it a lot easier to thread your needle. Put that in there, okay, like that. Okay, fold it closed, and we're holding it so the thread doesn't fall out. And then it'll be much easier to take, well, of course I dropped it there, but we're going to fold it like that, and then we're going to put that through the eye of the needle, like that. And if you just pull that through, hopefully you can see that okay. Like that. And then your thread is through, okay, without too much trouble. All right, then what we need to do is we need to tie it on there. So I'm just going to make a simple knot. I'm just going to make a loop. Okay, see where I make a loop? Okay, and then you just put the end of the thread through the loop and pull tight. Okay, so just a simple knot. Now, what you want to do is there's a couple ways you can do this project, okay? You can do this fan pattern like this, or we can do some different geometric ones. So we'll look at how to make one of the geometric ones first, okay? With a square shape. So the first thing I'm gonna do, you always wanna make sure that when you're sewing, it's like you're swimming. You dive down and you come back up, okay? So we wanna start on the back, all right? So what I'll do is I'll go on the back to one of these corner ones, and I'm gonna pop that needle through. So I'm coming up, okay, from this hole right here. I'm gonna lift up my string, okay, and then I'm gonna go straight up to the opposite one, okay, which would be right here. So I'm going to put my needle through that top one, okay. I'm gonna pull that through. Okay, till I get towards the end of my thread, okay? Then I'm gonna flip it over, and you can either tie a couple knots or take an easier way and use a piece of Scotch tape or masking tape and tape the end of it down so that when we pull on it, it stays tight without it falling through. All right, so now that I've gone up there and I came to that top hole, we don't want to go back in the same one, because if you do that, it's all going to fall apart. So now we want to move to the next one we want to go to. So if we want to make kind of a square rectangle pattern, we want to go to this one. So I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to go into the hole that I want right there, and I'm going to pull that through. Pull it tight, okay? I'm going to go back to that one I just came from. So I'm going to go back there, and then when I pull that tight, not too fast because it can get tangled up if you go too fast, like that. Okay, so now I've got the first part of my rectangle. I want to go to this one next. So I'm going to hold my finger there so I know where to go. Flip it over, and then put the needle through that one. Once I do that, I can go back either here or here. I'm going to go back here so it's a little clearer to that top right one. Okay. Oops. Sometimes it'll get caught in the corner like that. Just pull it over and pull through. Okay. You can see on the back we've got kind of a different pattern. Now I want to go back down here. So I'm going to go down to that bottom one I just came from. Okay. Lift that through. And then I'm going to go over to where I started. Okay, now that's one basic shape. You could turn it, and you could start another rectangle from here to here to here to here to here, just like we did, and you could keep turning it and keep making more. Now, if you want to make the fan one, like this pattern right here, that's a little different. So I'm going to snip off that. I'm going to add a little piece of tape, close that off, okay? Now, I'm going to try this different pattern, okay? So for this one, I'm going to start in a different part, okay? I'm going to put my needle in the back, pop that through right there, add a little piece of tape, okay? And then for this one, what you're going to do is you're just going to travel to each one of these holes that we punched out. So I'm going to start by going to the first one. I'm going to put my needle through there. Pull tight, okay? Then I'm going to come up through the next one, okay, which is right next to it, right there. Pull up, and I'm going to go back to the center, put my needle through. Oops. Again, sometimes it'll get snagged, just pull it through. And you see it's going to start to make that pattern. Now I'm going to go to the third one, okay? Now go up to that third one, like that. Pull up, pull back to the starting point, so you keep going back to the same one. Now you can see we're getting these radiating lines that go out, okay? And then if this happens, if we start to run out of thread, that's okay. Snip it off, okay? Instead of tape, you can also do a knot, but you want to do a couple, so do a little loop, pull that tight, and I'll usually do a couple like that, okay? Now, if you were confused before about how to thread the needle, I'll show you that one more time. We'll just cut this one off the needle, like this. I'll take a different thread. Why don't we do orange this time? We'll put that in the middle, like so. Close it up. And again, hold that tight because it's very easy for it to fall out, like you saw happen to me before. We're going to put that through the eye of the needle. Pull that on through, and it's through again. Now, if you had trouble seeing before how to thread it, we're going to make a loop like that. Put the end into the loop through the back, and pull that tight like that. Okay. Now, I'm going to start at my start point, which was that middle one right there. Okay. Just pop that up. Now I'm going to go to the fourth hole. And I'm going to put that needle through. Pull that tight like that. My needle's going to go back to the starting point right there. Pull through. Go up to the fifth one. Through like that. Back to the start. Pull tight. Up here. Like that. Okay. And you would repeat that. You would keep weaving it. You would go to the next one, and the next one, and the next one. Okay? And eventually you can see what happens is you reach all of them, and then you stop. And then you could go to a different section. Like we've got this green thread here, and you could do that to each one of them. Okay? And then the purple, like that. Okay? Any questions, ask me in real life. Thanks.